What is happening, everybody, and welcome to another episode, and probably the episode you guys have been most excited about, the first start of the Meowta. So now, don't get too excited, right? It's not gonna happen like the first 3 seconds, or maybe there was a clip in the very beginning. I don't know. Anyway, today's Thursday, so this video comes out on Sunday. So this is past me talking to future you. Anyway, we've got a couple things that got delivered and that we're waiting on getting delivered today, so I figured I'd go ahead and start the video now so that you guys saw everything, right? So we have our brand new tires right here. Got these bad boys, and I'm very excited about this. So these are the 300 treadwear. I'm sure you guys have seen them everywhere. These are the 351 Sport GDs. They're made by Xeiras. I can't pronounce it, but this is what it looks like. So we got 2 of them in yesterday. The other 2 are supposed to be here today. They're a 195 50/15, and I cannot wait to try these. Now these are probably some of the worst winter tires that I could have picked, but I'm hoping that they actually do pretty good. So we're not going to be really cruising around in some snow with this, but these tires were a smoking deal during their Black Friday sale, and I could not pass it up, so I got a full set. So I figured I'd show you guys the 2 that got delivered, and we can talk about some other stuff that showed up. So the silicone hose kit that I was telling you guys I was waiting on for the longest finally came in. These are all of the extra pieces that we do not need on our Meowta. I have all of the ones that we were missing installed finally, and I am so excited. So we are very close to hearing this thing fire up, but in normal fashion, it seems like anything that can go wrong usually does. And I was doing a check on everything. I got the hoses all installed down here. So this was the one that we really needed right here. This goes to our idler control valve. I replaced the one on the other side and this long one right here. Normally there's like a little metal piece that's here that's 2 hoses. You could cut this down and do that, but I do like the one piece. I think it's pretty cool. Got the brake booster one on, and then I was over here at the PCV and I wanted just to double check to make sure that I had the PCV valve installed correctly. It's pretty hard to install these wrong, but I have seen it done before. And as you know, what you do is this side here is part of the valve cover. So this goes through a grommet, goes in there, and it's supposed to allow air to go this direction into the intake manifold if the crankcase becomes pressurized. So air is not supposed to be able to go from the intake manifold into the valve cover, just from the valve cover out to the intake manifold. Well, unfortunately, both of these leak. So it doesn't matter how hard or how soft you try to push air through here, they both leak. And I should have known. You always should check these. I didn't check the one I installed originally, and when I found that it was leaking, I checked the other one I had purchased, and it also leaks. So I'm gonna go down to Mazda tomorrow. I already ordered one. We're gonna pick it up and we're gonna get it put in here. So I'm really glad that I checked this stuff beforehand, because we could have all kinds of issues with that. You could have vacuum issues, like so for example, if you were to run this and this valve was leaking, if you were to pull off your oil fill cap or your dipstick, you would get a vacuum leak because air is going into this crankcase. Not only that, but then you have a leak into the crankcase. So unmetered air, finding its way into the crankcase and then back through. So basically, any pressure is just supposed to go right into the intake, which is fine. But when it's the other way around, you're going to have a bad time. Now, don't get me wrong. You could run the engine like that, and it could idle okay. If this was boosted, there'd definitely be a problem. So not a big deal. We're gonna go get that valve. We'll be good to go. But that's why it's important to double check this kind of stuff. Make sure that you have everything capped off that needs to be capped off. that you have everything just working properly, you have a good connection. So when we go to install this, we're actually going to put a clamp on this side here and right here. And then we don't obviously need to clamp or do anything in here. The seal here will be okay. The real thing is you want to make sure that this tube is sealed and it's sealed well to the intake, because if not, you're going to have a vacuum leak and you're going to have a bad time. You can see I have these two ports right here capped off. These caps aren't really the best. They're actually kind of hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually probably just going to take a little piece of this pink silicone hose, and we're just going to probably go like this and just run a loop and then tie them. Or what I might end up doing is, since we're not going to be firing this thing up right away, what I'm going to do is I like to put a little bit of silicone, like not a lot, right? Like not a lot of silicone, just a little bit like back here. And then when you push this on, that silicone will kind of help seal around the opening. So if you get it on, say your silicone's like right about here, and you push this down, that silicone's going to get in here and it's going to really help seal. You might even see some of it push out the edge right here. So that'll be something that we'll end up doing here in the near future. So like I showed you guys before, our DDM intake is all on. Our X-Force headers are looking beautiful. I can't wait to see them change color. But for now, what I'm going to do is get these new Destroy or Die seat brackets in. So these are for my driver's seat, which you can see is out. Basically what I want to do today is get these brackets on our NRG Sport and just kind of get my driving position set up where I want it. And then once I like how it's set up, we're going to go ahead and finalize the seating position and get it bolted down, hopefully for the last time, at least until our harnesses show up. Now we might be able to get in here to bolt our harness up, but this back bolt will be the hardest one. So what we'll do is we're going to land one part of our harness here. It's going to come up, it'll have the buckle portion. This part that's going to come back here is going to go through the holes, go back to the bar, get wrapped up. And then over here, we're going to land it right here where the factory seatbelt would latch here. So your factory buckle's over there, and your base is right here. And then you have the run up, which is up here. And then down here is where the retractor sits. So that's a really good spot too. The harness bar I got is going to bolt up, I think here to these side bolts and the top. And then when we get our cage and stuff in, I think one of our bolts actually lands right down there. Well, it is the next day and we got the seat all bolted in. It's nice and solid, definitely not going anywhere. It does hit right here just like all of the seats do that are large like this. So this is a large base seat. I believe the waist it accommodates is up to a 38 or 36, which is nice. And it's just a big seat. So the bolster hits right here. They all do. And I had to actually trim down this piece right here just a little bit so it could clear this bump. But the door closes and we are good everywhere. Obviously it just hits there, but that's no big deal. When we get the LRB door cards, you know, maybe what we'll do is we'll just kind of nip this really quick. I do need to finish putting one bolt down here in the back. That's why this kind of moves just a little bit, but I'm gonna pull this cover off and I'm probably just gonna go ahead and just chop this flat, kind of smooth the edges down a little bit, and then I'll put the bolster back on and leave the foam. So you won't even really know until you close the door. There just won't be any resistance here and it won't hit the seat. So I need to put this trim rail in and do some other stuff, but we got our BAM shift knobs in. Super cool. I love that thing. I made an install video. Definitely go check it out. But we got some other goodies and I'm going to show them to you right now. So over here we have our GV style front lip. This is a pretty common front lip. A lot of people run. This thing is solid. Probably one of the thicker lips that I've seen. It definitely looks like it could get scraped or bumped pretty good and still be relatively strong. Nice and thick ABS. So happy about that. And then these are our FD style skirts. So these skirts also very thick, really nice, should be easy to bolt up. It's got 2 bolt holes up here in the front. These are supposed to line up with your inner fender portion where it goes underneath. There's 2 bolts for the fender. Bolt through those, and then I'm not sure where this one lands. Obviously I haven't put them on yet, but I'm gonna get these things put on today as well. These are also nice and thick. Pretty common skirt. See a lot of people run something similar to this. I do like the step down, you know, it's pretty nice, and the mounting surface should be good. I am thinking about possibly taking a piece of flat stock and putting it under here, but we'll see. This feels pretty thick. I just don't want it to bake in, but with this little dip right here, I feel like it'll help kind of hold its shape. Plus it has a lot to do with how you install them, which will help kind of prevent that. We do also got some meats right here. So these are Acceleras. Let me go ahead and get the skirts off and I'll show them to you. So these are the Accelera 351 Sport GDs. These tires are 300 tread wear, and I got them on one of their Black Friday sales. These things showed up super fast and they look awesome. I cannot wait to get them out and get a feel for these tires. These are probably one of the first sets of actual like drift or track style tires that I've ever bought for anything. So I think that's really cool, and I'm just really excited to get them put on the Meowta. So probably not the best thing for winter, but right now the roads are pretty clear, so hopefully we'll be able to drive a little bit in it before the snow really starts to come down, and we put this thing in the garage and keep tinkering on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the front lip on. So I think that this will be pretty easy. I'll show it to you guys when it's done. There's a bunch of videos of people putting these things on, and I'll kind of give you an overview when I'm finished. And then we're going to move on to the side skirts, get those side skirts put on. Our side splitters, I guess, is more like what they are. Once we're all done with that, we're going to go ahead and actually adjust our e-brake. So there's a bunch of videos online about how to do that as well. But we just need to go ahead and adjust our e-brake back here. There's actually a screw. You take that screw out. And behind there is a 5mm Allen. That's what you use to adjust it. Essentially what you do is you snug it down very lightly. You don't need a lot of force. If you need to put any force in there, you're probably going to strip something out or break it. These are brand new calipers, so I'm not worried about that. Basically, you just snug it down until you can't move the rotor, and then you turn it off about 1/3 of a turn, and then you put your plug back in and you're good to go. That's how you set it. You need to make sure that you have right around 5 to 7 clicks on your e-brake, and the adjustment for that is super easy. It's just right on the inside closest to the center console. You're going to need to go ahead and remove your cover from that. So I'm going to go ahead and get that stuff buttoned up right now. I'll show you guys Meowta when the skirts and the lip kit are on, and hopefully we can go ahead and get it on the ground. I do need to also adjust the front coils down about 1 inch. So this way we're nice and level. And then we're going to go ahead and set this thing down, and we should be good to go. Alright guys, so I got the lip and the skirts installed. They came out pretty easy. I did also go ahead and get the wheels put back on. I lowered the front a little bit, not much, but it's level now all the way across. I don't want to go too low because like I said, it is going to be snowing and already snowing. There's a shot of that lip there in the front. So got everything ready to go to fire this thing up and let it run. So I'm pretty excited about that. So why don't we go ahead and get this thing started. So I got it all fired up. It is running. I do have one of these hydraulic lifter caps. I guess it is stuck down or whatever. So I need to hopefully let it run a little bit longer, and it will go ahead and fill up, and that noise will go away. A little bit of driving maybe. Worst case scenario, we just drive like that. It's not a huge deal. We'll do an oil change. We are only running 530 in here, so I am going to probably go ahead and run either Rotella T5 540, or we're going to run a 1030 in here, just to kind of equal things out. So this is just Royal Purple 530 synthetic. Probably not the best startup fluid, but we're just going to go ahead and run it like this for a little bit. I think it's totally fine. Nothing abnormal. Got it all the way up to temperature, so everything looks good. We're going to let it cool down. We're going to go ahead and cap off our radiator finally, be able to close this hood. Now that noise is a little bit annoying, but like I said, I think we'll drive around for a little bit, see what happens. I check the timing. We're right around 10 degrees or so, which is perfect, and I'm going to keep it right at that. Actually, it's probably a little closer to 5 degrees advanced, so not too crazy. And yeah, I mean, it looks great. Got it monster truck status right now, but it should be totally fine. At the end of this video, I'm going to go ahead and drop a couple photos, little teasers about the next video we got coming up. I got a little surprise in the mail today. We are also waiting on our LRB door cards to show up. Should be here relatively soon. We'll go ahead and get them in there and have them looking all pretty. I am thinking about wrapping them in black suede or dropping them off and getting them powder coated, but we will see. I was originally going to wrap them like vinyl wrap, but I think for now, simple and clean is going to be the way to go. The interior on this thing is going to be pretty awesome when we get done with it, but I think that it is looking pretty. Those meats look awesome on there. I'm excited to take this thing for a drive. We are waiting Monday. Our steering wheel and everything will be here, so I'm excited about that. So will the door cards. So I'll make sure that we get a video of those next week for you guys. I really hope you guys are watching and enjoying this build. I am loving this NA Meowta. I think it's got to be one of the more fun projects that I've been able to get my hands on. Now, there are a couple things we're going to need to go ahead and do even after we get the steering wheel in and everything's buttoned up. We're going to have to go and do a eyeball alignment on this thing, take it down and get it aligned. Once we're done with that, we are ready to cruise. So you guys remember we have a depowered rack in here, so I'm going to go ahead and get the alignment specs off of one of the forums about what we need to have up in the front. I know we need to have a little bit more caster in the front, I believe, and that will help us with our turning, and then we're going to just get it pretty much set up. I don't want to go super low right now because I would like to go out and enjoy this thing in the snow. Plus, I think in the rear we are pretty low, close to the exhaust. I think we got about 3 inches to the ground, which is a lot for the Meowta, but being able to get out and have a little bit of fun this winter, this is how it's going to be. So I'm excited to get this next video out for you guys. I think you guys are really going to like it. I'll have some driving clips and some revving and stuff, but I don't want to go too crazy. It is completely a fresh build, and I would hate to ruin something because I wasn't careful in the beginning. So we do also have our Clutch Max clutch kit on here with a lightweight flywheel. I did press the clutch in just to make sure that the noise I was hearing wasn't that, and it wasn't, so I'm pretty sure it's just coming from like right about here. And you know, I thought I filled them all up and pumped them, but I could have missed one. You know, it's hard to tell. Probably did, and that's probably why they're all of them are quiet except for one. So hopefully that will sort itself out here in the future. But I appreciate everybody watching. I think you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. We're like 500 and change, a little over like 510, 512, something like that. That's absolutely wild. Also, we're on TikTok, so that's kind of cool. Do some sponsor video stuff over there. But I'm really excited, man. I got some cool things coming for this, and I hope that you guys stay tuned. So until the next one, get out there, get those projects done. Hit me up on Instagram, show me your builds. I mean, give me some advice on this Meowta. You guys got Meowtas out there? I know you guys have some advice and some things. Drop them down, man. Let me hear what you got. Until the next one, guys. Peace.